I think in order to make this reverse retro hat design work, I need to get those jerseys that were half one and half the other. Half home and half away. You guys know the ones I'm talking about. I've looked at them very often on eBay, and I've thought I can't. I can't. And I've had that opinion for 25 years now. So there was a trade this morning. Let's go ahead and discuss it. Ryan Dzingel heads back to the Ottawa Senators, and what the Carolina Hurricanes get in return is Alex Galchenyuk and Cedric Paquette. Now, you'll notice I'm wearing a Sens jersey because I think the Sens get the best player. Ryan Dzingel, as a member of the Ottawa Senators, was very good. And he had ability playing with the Senators that he hasn't really displayed either in Columbus after the trade or in his time in Carolina. I like the player. I like him in Ottawa. I hope he signs an extension in Ottawa. He's making $3.375 million. So Ottawa takes on money here. But what they move is Alex Galchenyuk to his sixth team. So this is getting ridiculous, right? And does anybody expect Galchenyuk to play like 10 games for Carolina and then get traded somewhere else? So he has played for Montreal, Arizona, Pittsburgh, Minnesota, Ottawa, and now he's in Carolina and he's only 27. So he is the Mike Sillinger of his generation. Cedric Paquette, $1.65 million. Both Galchenyuk and Paquette are UFAs this summer. So Galchenyuk can get traded at the deadline and then become a UFA and sign somewhere else during the summer. Now, what you have to remember is because of the quarantining coming into Canada, that means Dzingel won't be available to the Senators for likely 2 weeks. But considering both Paquette and Galchenyuk had been out of the lineup in recent games, they had decided to make them healthy scratches at points. This is a trade that works for both teams, and I think Carolina picking up Paquette, good move. I think Galchenyuk, that was just to even out the money a little bit. Maybe Galchenyuk hits in Carolina. I mean, in the time that I've done videos on this channel, I've talked him up for Arizona. I tried to talk him up for Pittsburgh. I kind of gave up when he got to Minnesota, and I kind of went, well, whatever, when he went to Ottawa. So that's where we're at with Galchenyuk now. Is kind of a, well, I don't know, maybe that works. He's the car that's been sitting in the front yard for too long. And you're kind of like, I don't know, can we get it to go? I don't know. And then it just changes ownership every now and then, sort of along those lines. And it's too bad because Galchenyuk has the talent. I swear he has the talent. All right, speaking of talent, James Neal is on waivers. Now, James Neal will not be picked up on waivers because he costs $5.75 million till 2023. This is simply a move being made, I think, because Puljujarvi has been cleared to return. So you got to move some money around him. You might as well waive Neal and go that way. Neal is not produced at a rate that's going to be attractive to other teams. I don't see him getting picked up. So, yeah, that was the big news this morning. Also, Taylor Hall admitting he did test positive for COVID, but he was luckily asymptomatic. And this is an argument that a lot of people have made, like, well, it doesn't matter because hockey players are always asymptomatic. And yet they're not. We've seen a lot of players who are suffering long-term effects. It's been said that that's part of the reason why Zibanejad hasn't been producing at a decent rate for the New York Rangers, is because he's had to deal with the after effects of that, and he doesn't have his energy level up where it needs to be. So, not everybody is lucky that way, even amongst the young athletes. And so hopefully Hall's able to play when the team returns on Monday. That's the scheduled return for Buffalo. And that's when we'll start seeing almost every team back on the ice on Monday, as long as we don't have any other kinds of outbreaks. Alex Radulov not on the ice for practice today for Dallas, so it's highly likely he doesn't play again. And there's no info on how long he's going to be out. We don't know how long he's going to be out. Could be a while. No idea. Not saying anything. Which tells me it's probably a day-to-day thing, but since nobody's saying anything, no idea. Now, Minnesota, who've been off the ice for a while, Spurgeon and Johansson apparently are still not going to be good to go when the team returns. So they've already got injuries. The COVID list is not positive or negative effect for them at all. It's just that's just another thing added on, and they're likely still out when the team returns. That's according to GM Bill Guerin. So we'll see. Johan Larsson is supposed to have a hearing today for a check to the head on Zach Sanford in last night's game. And it just leads me to wonder, again, there were a few other hits I saw last night. This is why I don't really talk about it in the reviews very often. The whole, well, that looked like a rough hit, because very often it seems like player safety is, well, the head hit thing they're hit and miss on. But we'll see if Larson misses a game or what happens. He did end up scoring a goal in that game. The other complaint I have is that if a check to the head, and that's what the penalty was on the play. It's not like it was a penalty for interference. I'm pretty sure it was a check to the head that they called it. Why isn't that a game then? Like, if you see an illegal check to the head and you're the referee, why is it not 2 and a game misconduct? Right, so it's a 2-minute power play and it's a game misconduct. If you throw a hit to the head, you're out. And then it would kind of take the onus away from player safety, where player safety could say, all right, well, he already, missed, say, the second and third period. He already missed the third period, and we don't feel any further actions needed. But we'll see what they do. We'll see how that works out for them. And there's been rumbling over the last 24 hours out of Vancouver. Ownership, not happy. And they shouldn't be. This is a team that they've watched kind of flail around for the last 5 years. Right? And it looked like they were finally on their way up. And the 2020 playoffs happened, and everything looked great, and now that's changed. The team is 6-11, and there are real rumblings to the point where people are making fake notices like, oh, this leaked out from the Canucks that they've actually already fired Benning, and look at this, they're already, it's just Photoshopped to make it look that way. They just took the Mike Gillis firing and just put Benning's name on it. Now, ownership may very well get rid of Benning. They may wait until after the long weekend. They may wait until after this 3-game set with Calgary. But if/when it happens, we then hit that other part of things where who's going to replace Benning? Who comes in? Who's the next guy up? And is it going to be somebody who's already in the organization? Is it going to be somebody outside of the organization? Will they be a team that gives a chance to a brand new GM? See, the funny thing is that people get mad about GMs being recycled and GMs moving from one job to another. Benning was a guy who got promoted. Benning was a guy who this was his first GM job. And here we are, they're looking at firing him. Mike Gillis, that was his first general manager job. He hasn't had one since he left Vancouver. Vancouver is willing to give a guy their first job. They might look in another direction this time around, and we might be back to that same meme about teams just, recycling the same GMs over and over again. But, yeah, I would be very surprised if Benning's still the general manager, I'll say, by the trade deadline. Because if ownership's mad right now, and again, this is a question I've always had, is why does a general manager get fired after the season if a team's lost faith in him during the season? Get rid of him before the trade deadline. If you don't like the direction the team's headed in, then bring somebody else in who can fix things at the trade deadline and at the draft. Getting rid of a guy early like that just doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, so we'll see what happens with Benning. If this is the weekend where he goes or not. But again, numerous people in local media are saying, yeah, it's getting pretty loud. Ownership's not happy with things. I don't have any direct information on that. I haven't asked for any direct information on that because, honestly, that's the kind of thing that you could see it in my eyes. If I knew in videos that ownership was really considering canning Benning for sure, you could see it in my face. You could see it in my face. And I would probably be saying things like, well, this could do it. And yeah, I don't want to do that. So anyways, there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below regarding that, or regarding the trade between the Sens and the Hurricanes, because I think that's a good deal for Ottawa. I like Ryan Dzingel, and I hope he rediscovers his scoring touch, and I hope he signs a contract to stay in Ottawa. That'd be nice, but we'll see what happens. They weren't able to sign him the first time around. Maybe they can this time. Let me know your thoughts. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.